Okay, hello everyone. My name is Elizabeth Rose, and I'm an author, hypnotist, hypnosis instructor, energy healer, and deep trance channel. And I'm lucky to be here today with Michael Sheridan because he's got a very exciting free event coming up. And I wanted to do a little interview so that you could learn about what he does and the opportunity that's available for you. So I'm just going to ask Michael to, well, I'll just give myself a little background information there. I found Michael in 2007 when I was struggling with some dreams. I had 7 dream books, but I had a really strange dream. And I found Michael on the website, Divine Intervention. I heard a voice that guided me to look for someone named Joseph. Joseph was a dream interpreter, as it turned out. I Googled, and then I found Michael online. And Michael was in Ireland at the time and interpreting dreams. And I sent him a paragraph of this crazy dream that made no sense. I had 7 dream interpretation books, and none of them were helping me. And so when I found Michael, he responded with a recording of what the interpretation meant. And there was prophecy in there. There were dream symbols. It was quite life-changing. And I didn't quite believe the direction he was saying my life would take based on the dream interpretation. But it all happened. It all came true. And yeah, life-changing. So this is an opportunity for anyone who remembers their dreams, and this is an opportunity to learn how to remember your dreams, to benefit from what Michael has to offer. So I'm going to stop there and say, Michael, can you give a bit of background as to maybe how you got into this and what you're offering, the whole story there?
Absolutely. And first of all, thank you for having me on here. My name is Michael Sheridan. I help people who are struggling to discover their gifts and life purpose. Typically, they're my audience. And using the power of dreams, I put people in touch with the life they intended to live. Like, what did you come to the earth plane for? What are your gifts? What are you working on to heal yourself? What is the catalyst for your growth in this lifetime? And how are you meant to grow? And then how are you meant to help other people? Because everybody has at least one gift. What got me into it? It was a total surprise to me. I was totally against anything like this. Anybody who did readings was a total charlatan. I just knew it. I didn't believe in life after death. And I did a course in meditation because I believed in the power of the mind. It was all about that. I did science subjects in school and in college, continued with them with science subjects too. And mathematics, my favorite things. Ended up being a software engineer. Was doing that for a long time, managing a lot of people. And I thought, if I got into meditation, I could use my mind more efficiently. And I was thinking, in the back of my mind, I had this idea, where Einstein said we only use 10% of our brains. It's like, okay, so I can keep developing myself. So I did this meditation course. It was the Silva Mind Control Method, the old one, not the one they do now. And I started meditating for about 3 hours a day. And not because I'm a meditation junkie. It's because that's how long my commute to and from work took. So I had that much spare time sitting on a bus, bored out of my mind, or I could meditate. So I meditated. And within about 9 months, I was going to bed one time. My wife was already asleep. And I get into bed and I felt like there's something in the room. Do you ever get that experience where the hairs on the back of your neck stand up and you're like, oh, and you look around and it's never anything. It's never anything. But this time I look around and it was 3 spirits in the room. They were as clear as people. It's like there was no question that they were there, and there was no question that they were spirits. And I jokingly say, but it wasn't a joke at the time because I screamed the house down. It's like people would say, how do you know they were spirits? It's the exact same way if a Tyrannosaurus Rex was running after you, you would know it was a Tyrannosaurus Rex, even though you never saw one for real. I knew these were spirits, and in a moment, my whole philosophy of life changed because I knew I was wrong about that there is life after death, or there is a spirit world anyway. And I would have probably ignored all that, pushed it to a corner and never said anything to anybody. except one spirit, not one of those three, but another spirit started coming along every couple of weeks, and it would attack me. And it was very unpleasant. And I had to learn how to deal with that. Only for that spirit, I would have parked it. But so I had to learn how to deal with that. And so I went for readings. And it was kind of funny. It was like I did it kind of cloak and dagger style. Like, is anybody seeing me coming into this place? I don't want to lose my good reputation. Not that I had one, but that's like, I really didn't like people who did readings. And that guy told me to stop meditating, but he didn't know why it was happening. And anyway, it took a while, but my journey began because of seeing the spirits. And I did lots of courses. I did everything I could do. I bought every book I could buy, trying to understand what was going on. My abilities continued. I could see auras and chakras and all sorts of things. I couldn't communicate with spirits. It was just like I had the visual, but I had no way of hearing them or anything like that. But I mistakenly thought, okay, now that I know the spirit world is real and I can see spirits around everybody all the time, I couldn't switch it off. I'm going to figure out what my life purpose is. Like, there should be some answer, but it didn't happen. It took about 2 years. Like I said, I did every course I could, and some things clicked, little pieces into place, but nothing gave me the big picture. But eventually I discovered dream interpretation, and I had previously done a dream interpretation course that was useless, and I didn't really want to go to this one, but my sister dragged me. She wanted to go to it. So I went along to heckle, but it answered everything. It told me why I'm here, why I see spirits. I mean, that was the first dream I gave. It explained why I'm seeing spirits. And I couldn't believe that I'm spending all this money doing other things, doing other courses, trying to learn other modalities, when all the time I have the answers myself. I'm carrying them around. I'm getting them every single night, but I'm just not knowing how to interpret the answer, how to understand the answer. And there's a reason for that. There's a reason our dreams come in symbolic form. They're not really directed at your conscious mind, but we can look at them and analyze them and figure them out in a very easy way. And so that was it. That got me on the road. But because I had done so many other things, it was kind of interesting. I started teaching classes on dream interpretation. So I did every course I could for a long time, and then started teaching classes on dream interpretation myself. And my favorite aspect is spiritual gifts, seeing what gifts other people have. And because I've learned how to use so many gifts myself on my journey of discovery, I can help people when I see, hey, you're a healer, here's how it works, or you're a channel, here's how it works, and all that sort of stuff. But that's what got me going. It's a long answer.
But Michael,
to a short question.
Thank you. Is that why you started to see spirits? Because that was your path? What was the reason?
So I had two near-death experiences when I was much younger, and I knew about that, and I just kind of parked it. And the reason I started seeing spirits was because the near-death experiences tore the veil for me, and I was blissfully unaware of that. But then when I started doing the meditation, that opened me up to things that I couldn't put back in the box. But I think it was all meant to happen that way. It was divinely, I was divinely attacked, I would say, because it all happened in a way that I couldn't ignore, and I would have ignored it. If you ever saw the movie A Beautiful Mind, where he goes through life and just ignores the spirits that he sees, I would have happily done that, because it didn't fit in with my worldview. And I didn't want to tell anybody I could see spirits. In fact, I didn't. I only told the people I went to readings for and my partner. Nobody else knew it was happening. And even when I was teaching dream classes and people would be sitting in the class, there's more spirits in the class than there is humans. And I would be talking about guides and how guides work with us and help us in our lives. And people will be like arms folded, like, I'd love to believe it, but there's just no evidence. And I'm looking at the evidence, But eventually I thought, these are so easy to see. I'm going to see if I can show somebody else how to see them. And I did, and it worked. And so that became a staple of my dream classes for a long time. And if I ever asked somebody after all the classes were done, do you want me to go over anything? They would always say, could you show us how to see the spirits again? Which is kind of funny because it's nothing to do with dreams. But that's what it really changes people's perspective. If you can be shown something and say, look, this is the spirit world. This is how to see them. This is how to see auras. This is how to feel energy. you can't unsee that then. And it's just terrific.
Yeah, you can't unlearn what you learn.
Yeah.
And do you find that that was really an education for you, a divinely
Oh,
guided education? Not to scare you, but to crack open your
oh,
consciousness.
I do, but it did scare me. It was horrendous. I screamed the place down. And I thought the spirits in the room, like they were so clear. It was like I was shouting at my wife. I woke her up. And, so from a deep sleep to me screaming, like, they're right there. And she couldn't see what I was pointing at. And I couldn't understand how she couldn't see them. And it would have been a lot easier for me if she could see them, because then it's like, okay, now we both saw that, didn't we? So it just left me in this space of, okay, I know what I saw. Well, what does it mean? And so I had this long journey of I didn't understand the meaning of it. But that everything I did between then and discovering dreams has all been extremely useful in what I do now.
And so, goodness, what a path. You've had so many different experiences and you've taken so many courses, but why was dream interpretation the thing you decided to stick with after your ability to see and communicate probably with spirits? Why dream interpretation?
Well, even when I learned how to interpret dreams, I still couldn't communicate with them. That took me a long time to learn how to do. But dream interpretation, because I was going through life blissfully ignorant, and I was having dreams every night that were telling me why I was here, what I was meant to be doing, how I was falling short, and what my strengths were and what my weaknesses were, but not just what the weaknesses were, but why I have them and what I need to do to solve them, to heal them. And no idea that this was going on at all. And so we're all like that. We're all carrying the blueprint for our life, and our dreams are reminding us repeatedly. So essentially, what I learned is our dreams come from our higher self. Our higher self was one of the architects of our lives and planned everything that we're meant to be doing. And so knows the purpose of our life. Like, are we meant to bring more joy? Are we meant to learn how to love? Are we meant to learn how to get rid of doubt and insecurities or whatever? There's always something that seems like, oh, that's not really a big thing, but it is. It is big. And so we have an issue in the life in the spirit world already. For instance, say you don't feel loved, then we're going to plan a lifetime where you come here, and through this society and the parents that you pick that are planned for you, you're going to end up in a lifetime where you don't feel loved. Typically, that's going to be done through mom not giving you unconditional love. And so when that happens, you have then transferred your existing spiritual issue, like the issue you had in the spirit world, to the physical plane. And you go through life not feeling loved. But here you can come across all sorts of healers and workers that can help you heal the trauma of the circumstances around your birth or your reception after birth. And the earth plane allows it to be an anchor point to be created so that you can work on that while you're here. It's like you have this obstacle, but now you can see it. It's very clear, but you can work on it here and heal it. And once you've healed it from here, then it's healed completely. Like it's gone from the spirit world too. And so that's one of the big purposes of our life, is to take a series of things that we know we need to work on that are holding us back, blocks, as you might call them, and overcome those blocks by growing in spite of them. I always say on my radio show that the obstacle isn't in the way, the obstacle is the way. And so the biggest obstacles in our path are there on purpose, and our dreams explain why they're there. And it's not a failing of our life that they're there. And our dreams say, here's what you need to do to overcome this obstacle. And you're going to overcome it in a way that allows you to grow so that that obstacle could never manifest again in your life. And you become a better person, a stronger person, a better version of yourself for it. And so our dreams are always guiding us that way. They're also predicting where we're going to land if we don't make changes in our life. Like they will tell you years in advance, this is a health condition that you're heading towards, and why. Oh, there's always the why and what you need to do to avoid it. Or these are the gifts you have. Like you're a channel, and you need to develop your channeling ability. And not just you're a channel. This is how you channel. Like there's 7 main ways of channeling. Your dreams will tell you exactly how it works for you. So an analogy would be, if your guides talk to you on the phone, then don't be at the mailbox looking for a message. You need to learn how it works for you and use that method, because that's the one you trained in. That's the one that's going to work. Are you a spiritual leader? Are you a counselor? Are you a writer? All of those things are revealed in your dreams. But because they come from yourself, they come from your higher self, when you get a correct interpretation, they're going to resonate with you. It won't be like, oh, that's kind of interesting. Michael said that I am this, or I have this issue. It'll be a nail on the head. You'll be like, yeah, I knew that. I know that's my issue. Those you will know, but you might not necessarily know where they came from, but it will resonate because your dreams are telling you where it comes from. And then what you need to do about it will be very clear. You'll be like, I agree. I know now this is what I need to do. But then, like I said, my favorite aspect, two favorite aspects, heal traumas, and then what are your gifts? Because there becomes a point where in order to keep growing, you have to step into service to other people. So you have to help other people. It's a bit kind of like if you really want to understand something, teach it. You know, that method, reading it will give you some information. Doing exams will give you other information, like studying. But if you really want to understand something, teach it to somebody else, because then you have to get to that point. And so when you want to grow, there is always a level where you're told in your dreams, you brought this gift and you're using it to help other people, or meant to use it to help other people. They are relying on you. The people who are going to come to you, they're not picked out of thin air. It's already planned in advance before you're born. So please develop this gift so these people can come to you and you can help them the way you're meant to help them.
That
Do I keep
is so
digressing?
important. Yeah, no, it's important. I don't think people realize how important and relevant dreams are. They think they're just crazy, a crazy mess of whatever happened the day before. But they, in my experience, having worked with you now since 2007, they are diagnostic tools. They are so accurate. And I think one time you said that really there are universal symbols. Sometimes it is a dream is really just for that person. It's not relevant to anyone else, but there are a number of symbols that are universal and they make sense every time. So I've had the pleasure and I've benefited from so much of your dream interpretation. And also I've enjoyed channeling for your flagship course on
That's
dream
right.
interpretation and channeling. And went through it not too long ago myself. And so there's so much healing involved. It is life-changing. It's really interesting. It just gets more interesting. And I am always coming up with new dreams.
So
That's something I wasn't sure about.
when you get a dream interpreted accurately, it's people love it. Like, it's always interesting. I want to know this because you're going to know something about yourself. But there is so much stuff out there that is inaccurate. It's sad. I haven't said this, but I've been doing this for 32 years. So I've a lot of experience in this field. And my enthusiasm hasn't waned, which is kind of funny. If you told me on the first class, 32 years later, you'll be doing this still, and you'll be more intense about it, I would have laughed my head off, because I went to heckle on the first class. But I've been on the TV, I don't know, countless times. I have written 2 books. I've been on probably 1,000 radio shows. And then I have my own radio show that I have in Seattle on KKNW that I've hosted for the past 8 years. So I say to people, okay, you don't have to believe me, especially if I'm teaching somebody how to channel. It's like, I then can say, don't believe me at all, but I will teach you how to channel. And then when you can channel, you can ask your guides, is what I'm saying bullshit or is it accurate? Because there is only one truth to anything, and there is only one truth to your dreams. There are layers in your dreams. So you're like, we are complicated beings. And so our dreams can talk about your gifts. They can talk about your health. They can talk about your career, your relationships, all of those things and more are in a lot of your dreams. So you can pick the area you want to focus on from the dream. But usually there's one major thing that's standing out. And it's like, this dream is about your birth and the reception at birth. And that will nearly always show the trauma that you picked up, because we come here to do that on purpose, but it'll always also show you what your gifts are. So we don't just come here with something to fix. We also bring something beautiful about us that is as close to God as you can get, you know, an aspect of us that's fully healed. And we bring that with us too. So it's like heal something and also bring something that we can use as a gift for other people.
It's been interesting going through your courses and taking your courses and applying them and realizing that you have created step-by-step instructions. It's not enough to just read a dream dictionary. I used to have those and I threw all those books out, but there is a structure and you have to, it's a process and you've laid it out so clearly that pretty much anyone can really, once they understand the structure, once they understand the steps that have to be taken, then pretty much anyone could start to really understand dreams and interpret dreams for others. I have fun with clients. I'm interpreting their dreams. If I don't get it all, I always call you, but
You
for the
don't
most
need to
part,
get it all. Yeah, you don't need to get it all. You can just hit the surface of a dream and it'll be interesting to say, okay, this dream is about this topic. And so now I know what topic to talk to you about. You know, and it's like, let's solve this. What's going on in this area of your life? So you don't need to hit everything. And that's one of the things I love about the Ashling method. I call the method Ashling Dream Interpretation, is our Ashling School is what we call ourselves. And Ashling is the Irish word for dream or vision. It's also a beautiful name, but that's why we go by that name. Of course, I was in Ireland at the time, and everybody knows how to spell Ashling over there. Nobody knows how to spell it or pronounce it here if it's spelled the Irish way. But anyway, it's you will learn. But I do have a course, a weekend event, a whole 3-day weekend event that's free that's coming up, and it's really structured. We put a lot of thought into this. There's four of us in the school, 4 of us on the team, and we planned this over 2 years. Really, this is our 3rd time running it, but it took us 2 years to get this to where we have it now. Saying, okay, what do we need to do? How do we need to do it? How do we get somebody enthusiastic about understanding their dreams? Like starting from scratch. Okay, you may have an interest or a strong interest, but how can you attend an event and become an expert dream interpreter at the end of 3 days? And that's what we set out to do. Now, could you go further than that? Absolutely. But this event, we guarantee at the end of it, you will be far, far, far better. And we start off really easily. On day 1, it's quite short, but I explain the meaning of the 3 most common dreams, so you can understand how the system works. And then the beauty of that one is 60% of people will have had those dreams because they're that common. I say what got me started and how I discovered the real value of dreams. I go into more detail than here. And then I explain what dreams actually tell us and why they tell us what they tell us. And also why we dream in symbols. And not every symbol is created equal. So some symbols in your dreams you're meant to ignore, and some symbols are the king symbol, the main symbol in the dream. And that's the one that tells you what the subject matter is. And then every other symbol in that same dream is giving you some qualification about the subject matter. They don't own anything in their own right. So you need to understand the subject matter to understand what most of the symbols are. And you need to be able to know how to tell which one is giving me that. And that's, again, very structured. There's a huge structure to dreams. It is a language like any other language. That's day 1. But day 2 is my favorite day. We reveal secrets about dreams that you just won't find anywhere else. I challenge you to look for this. Now, you might find it on my website, but that's okay. But every single dream is about energy. Absolutely every single dream. They're about a masculine energy imbalance or a feminine energy imbalance. And when you understand that, it's really crucial, because everything in your life, obstacles and strengths, they all boil down ultimately to something about masculine or feminine energy. So when you understand that and how your dreams are explaining things in that way, you can understand why your career is not working out, why your relationships don't work out, why you have health issues. They all come down to an imbalance. And your dreams will show you precisely what your imbalance is and where on the earth plane you picked it up. Now, realize again, like I said before, we don't normally reveal this piece, but You already had that before you came here, and the plan was to come here to fix it. So it's crucial. It's a huge part of your life purpose. And I think I think that's the best part of the whole weekend, that understanding of the masculine and feminine energy. We do it in a beautiful way. Like it's people sit up straight when we finish that part, and we do a Q&A at the end, but we just do it so clearly. We also throw lots of dreams up on the screen, and we ask you from those dreams, which energy is this dream talking about? And which energy is this dream talking about? And then we explain the traits, all the traits that go with each energy, which, it's funny. That's all very, very important to know, but it's kind of diffused all over the web. You don't see it clearly in places. We then introduce gifts. Like I said, gifts are my favorite thing. And we start off a game. We give you a mini lesson. And then for the rest of the weekend, every time there's a break, we're going to put a symbol on the screen. And at the end of the break, you're going to tell us what that symbol means. What gift does it represent? And if you're listening to this and saying, okay, that's impossible, that's only because you haven't done the weekend. You will see that everybody gets this right, because we're going to explain why symbols mean what they mean, and why symbols about gifts mean that particular gift. So then you can see something that's new that you've never seen before, and you'll go, oh, I know what gift that is because of what it's doing or whatever. It'll make a lot of sense on the day. But we really love that one. And we do that throughout the weekend. So you're learning how to tell what your gifts and indeed other people's gifts are from their dreams, but you're doing it in a very fun way, kind of like you don't even know you're learning. We then go on to talk about something that is so important in your life that you celebrate it every year. Of course, that's your birth, but your dreams celebrate it more than once a year. Your dreams are going to celebrate it multiple times, probably per week. It's the most important thing in your dreams, almost like second to energy. Your birth is the most important because it sets you up for everything that's happening. So if you can see dreams about birth, you can see what your trauma is, what is it you brought here to heal, and what are your gifts, and a whole lot more. And one of the things that's really important to understand is that our paradigm view of the world is created by the reality we're born into. So if you come here and mom doesn't love you for whatever reason, if she doesn't give unconditional love, then you believe that this is an unloving world. And when you're an infant, your sample size is one. It's only mom that counts. Dad, you want love from, but really what we want from dad is support. We want dad to be the one that's just there for us, the pillar that we can lean on. So we want love from mom and support from dad. And they're the definition of feminine and masculine energy. And if we don't get those, we say that the world is an unloving world. I am not worthy of love, or whatever way you want to put it. And you create your world based on how you think, but your paradigm view of your world is locked into your subconscious based on how the world actually is for you when you're born. And you can't create above whatever ceiling your paradigm view puts in place. And so we explain the birth imprint from that perspective so that you can, work on that. Like if you want to be loved, then it doesn't matter if your subconscious mind believes you can't be. If you want to be healthy, it doesn't matter if your subconscious mind believes you can't be. You're going to get whatever it is you believe in. If you want to be rich, if your subconscious mind doesn't believe you can be, you won't be. If you want to be successful, it's these things have to be fixed. Whatever the paradigm view is that locks you in place, your dreams are going to show it. They're going to show where it comes from so that you can then do something quite easy to deal with it. I'm sucking all the oxygen out of the room. Am I, Elizabeth? I saw you put your hand up.
No. I just want to add to that what I loved about taking your course recently is that as I progressed, because it was as much learning as healing through the whole process, it was channeling, dream interpretation, but also a healing process. And the dreams were changing. You predicted how my dreams would be as the course progressed. And I was amazed because my dreams did exactly what you said they would do. Uh, yeah, I used to have dreams with a lot of women, and then you said, well, more men will start showing up in your dreams, and then suddenly men were everywhere. So it was very interesting for me to see how the dreams reflected my progress. They were like a progress report, but they
Yeah.
also showed what needed to be worked on in the future. So I pay more attention now than ever to dreams.
Yeah.
So
If
this
you're
3-day course sounds great.
if you're doing a healing journey, your dreams follow a particular arc. They will, and it doesn't matter the therapy. You can be doing energy healing, talk therapy, whatever it is, but your dreams will immediately go dark. Like looking at, because you're looking at something that is like, this is going to be unpleasant. I'm looking at an issue in order to solve it. If that's your relationship, if that's your childhood, if whatever it is, you know it's going to be unpleasant to look at it, but your dreams reflect that. But we need to see that. If a therapy is working, your dreams will change. And if it's working well, your dreams will change for the worse, or at least it'll appear that way, because they're now digging into the things that are unpleasant to look at. But then they'll do that for a little while, like about 2.5 weeks, and then it'll start switching, and then you'll have battle scenes. You'll have dreams where people have lost an arm, maybe they're sword fighting, all sorts of stuff like that, daggers, throwing knives. And then they'll get to a point where you'll see bloodied and bandaged people. So they've been to hospital, they've been treated by a doctor, and now they're in a state of recuperation. And all of this shows the arc of your own healing journey. So when you get to the bandaged people, even though you would look at that and go, oh my God, there's a bloodied person here, it's a good point in the dream, because it's like now the healing is happening. And then the last part is usually you're going to graduate from a class or do an exam or some other symbolic representation of moving to another level. And there's lots of ways dreams can say this. But if you're doing a therapy and you don't see that arc change in your dreams, that therapy is not doing you any good. I can tell from somebody's dreams whether they're already doing therapy. Because one of the things that changes is we normally spoil most of our dreams. Our higher self shows up and says, hey, Elizabeth, here's what you should do in your life. Or, hey, Michael, this is a gift you have. You should use it. And we normally will, our response is going to be, not going to do it, don't want to do it because, and we'll have all sorts of reasons that we don't want to do it. You know, maybe we did it in a past life and we got persecuted. It's like, hey, be a spiritual leader or be a channel. It's like, oh yeah, remember the time I was burnt at the stake for that? Yeah, I'm not going to do it this time. And so we have all sorts of reasons. But when you're doing the therapy, that changes. And your higher self shows up symbolically in the dream saying, I want you to do this. And your immediate answer is, okay. And so we can see that from dreams of people who've worked on themselves, and it continues on for a number of months after a therapy. So you keep getting the benefit. I think a great analogy is that if you're trying to row towards shore, so say you want a partner in your life, you want a relationship and you don't have one, and you're rowing towards shore, towards this shore which would represent getting a partner. But your subconscious mind is rowing in the other direction because it knows all the reasons why you shouldn't have a partner. And consciously, yeah, we only use our conscious mind when we think about things, obviously. And that's not going to be very long. Our subconscious mind works 24/7. It never switches off. And our dreams are showing this conflict, which is what the battles and everything are in the dreams. So our dreams show this conflict. And if we don't address it, the subconscious mind will always win. Your subconscious mind creates your reality, regardless of what you think. But you can do the work when you understand what your subconscious mind is trying to create to heal the trauma that has your subconscious mind doing that in the first place. When you heal that trauma, it's like you take the oars off your subconscious mind. And now as you row towards the shore, you're making headway. And the things that you want in your life happen. And it's very clear, and you can see it in your dreams. And they happen fast because there's no blocks. So, yeah, not sure how we got into that based on you talking about your journey, I guess.
Oh, because the dreams reflected your progress, and you predicted how my dreams would change. It was very clear.
Yeah.
And so there's so much to it. You make it simple. You make dream interpretation simple, but it can get very interesting. And as you said, it's very layered. So it's an opportunity. Everybody has an opportunity to dive into this topic and realize that it can positively impact not just a few, experiences, but really it can be life-changing, and it's lifelong. I mean, dreams, I've known you since 2007, and I'm thrilled that we have worked together as a result of collaboration, and it has benefited me in so many surprising ways to understand the dreams. And I'm grateful I can ask you about this
Yes.
dream or that dream. So it can positively impact so many different areas of people's lives. And that's what I don't think they realize. And if they don't remember their dreams, you can teach them how to remember their
Absolutely.
dreams.
Yeah, there are techniques for that. And there's lots of techniques for it. Usually we don't remember our dreams because the reason is we're burning the candle at both ends, or we just think there's no reason to remember them. Why would I be interested in that and waste my mind on that? But once you turn your attention to it, you will remember dreams. And even people who say that they don't, they still have a few dreams that they remember. And they're like, okay, yeah, this one stuck with me. What is this one about?
What is this about?
And so a lot of dreams have a shelf life, especially if they're talking about an issue that you need to work on. If that's a year ago, then that dream may not matter anymore. But that's okay because your dreams repeat the message over and over. So whatever's relevant will show up in your dreams tonight. But when it comes to gifts, even old dreams or life purpose, even old dreams can be very useful because that purpose isn't going to change and your gifts aren't going to change. So very, very useful that way. We have a lot more in our weekend. It's all structured. We drag some dreams through the weekend. Like we put it on the screen and say, okay, what energy is this about? Okay, now how does this dream show the birth imprint? And how does this show the next piece and the next piece and the next piece? And we break it down in a very structured way so that you understand the depth of what you can get out of a dream in a very simple and understandable way. And on day 3, we tie it all together. We talk about career. Before we do that, we talk about career and how your dreams tell you and give advice on career and indeed on your vocation. What is it you're meant to be doing? What's your mission versus what's your career? And that's really cool. But then we tie it all together by getting somebody to explain how she followed her dreams over the course of like a year and a half to get to where she is now. And then she demonstrates a gift that she learned that she had from her dreams. It's very structured, very easy. You walk away with tons of content. And you did say you threw out all your dictionaries. I do also have a dictionary, which I know you have. And you can get it for free on my website at dream-analysis.com. But we're doing a massive update to that. We're doing like adding 2,000 symbols. So it's going to take us a little while, but we're well into the process. But what I like about the Ashling method is if one symbol says, oh, this is about your heart and emotions, you will find lots of other symbols in the same dream will say the same thing. Or if it's about your counseling ability, lots of symbols in the same dream. So you look up and you go, oh, a pearl means counseling. That's interesting. And then you will look up something else and it'll say, okay, the color green worn by a guide means the same thing. And you're like, okay, there must be something to this because I've had 4 symbols in that dream that all say the same thing. So I like that it proves itself to you. Like you can go in doubtful, and then over the course of a very short period of time, you will see the consistency in your dreams. And then if you look at other people's dreams, theirs will be consistent to their purpose, their mission. And it's not like that. There is a cohesion to the whole system.
I think of the crazy dreams I used to have over the years, and they were so confusing. They were a puzzle, and you were decoding and you were breaking it all down. And I had so many issues I had to work on over the years, over decades. And now, recently, even since the course that I just took with you, I'm getting these really lovely images of like diamond, eagles. And I'm thinking,
Yeah,
wow, dreams are better now.
for
So
sure.
it's like a little reward for having done the work. I'm just like,
Well,
yes,
there is a journey that we go on. And so as we go on that journey, like the first part is like heal yourself, work on this, work on this. Also use your gifts like you're doing. But because you're using your gifts, you won't have many dreams about that. But really it's all about, like, think again, it's about balancing masculine and feminine energy. And it's not a point between the two. We have to balance our feminine energy because that can be out of whack. And we have to balance our masculine energy. That can be out of whack. So like, for example, masculine energy balanced is supported. You feel supported. You feel like you could drop me anywhere in the world and I know I'll be okay. The world is safe. That's all balanced masculine energy. Unbalanced masculine energy, you become controlling. The world isn't safe. So if I control everything around me, the world will become safe to the point of like, don't put a drink on that table without a coaster. You know, that is a reflection of your unbalanced energy. But when you balance both, your dreams then switch to this unique thing where they talk about integrating the energies. They don't want you to integrate them until they're balanced. But when you integrate them, it's like my masculine energy can help me with my feminine energy traits. So feminine energy, for instance, would includes leadership, nurturing, caring, loving, that sort of stuff. But if you're a spiritual leader and you get to this balanced state, you can then use your masculine energy, which is all about creation in the world, in order to make an impact in the world. So it's like you use the two together, and it's really going to catapult you forward in ways that you can't do with just the one energy. And that's fairly unique. I challenge anybody to give me a dream that shows that integration, because that's usually the result of doing a lot of work on yourself, which,
I
of
love
course, some
that
people
you,
will have done.
yes, a lot of them have done it, but this will give them an extra boost up. It's another indicator, it's another path, another um, guidepost, or I don't know, it's a course. It helps you figure out where to go from here, what you need to work on. And it's also telling you how you're doing.
Yeah.
And yeah, dreams are great. They really
Well,
are.
the weekend isn't a course. The weekend is a workshop, but it's a fun workshop. You can eat popcorn while you're doing it. And if you do this weekend, if there's pieces you miss, we give you the recording for free. And you can catch up on whatever you missed that you want to see, or rewatch pieces if you want to. I also put my neck on the block. In the Q&A, I will answer your questions. There's 4 of us in the team, by the way, so we'll all be on the stage at different times. But we will answer your questions. I will tell you what your dreams mean during the weekend. So it's not like you can say that's completely wrong, Michael. You won't, though, because I know what dreams mean, and I will be able to tell you what they mean. So you will learn a lot, and you'll have fun. And how do you get it? dream-analysis.com/free. It is a free event, but we do ask for a deposit of $97. And we give that back to you. All you have to do is show up to any of it. You don't have to do all 3 days. Show up for 10 minutes. We give you back the $97. So dream-analysis.com/free. We do the deposit for a few reasons. One is we have limited seating. And so we noticed a long time ago, when we charge a deposit, the people will only book if they intend to come. And so we know exactly how many people are going to show up within 2 or 3 people. Like that's how good that is, even though it'll be hundreds. And it also keeps people out that really have no interest, and you don't want them in the audience either. So we don't want them, you don't want them. It does that because a person isn't going to pay even $1 to go to an event they don't really want to go to, but they'll hop in on a free one. So
Good. Okay, so start jotting down your dreams and preparing for the 3-day free weekend with Michael and team.
it's
Amazing people.
October 6th to 8th. It doesn't matter where you are in the world. The Friday is a short day. The Saturday and Sunday are full days. So Friday, for Europe, we do it at 11 a.m. Pacific time until 1:30. It's a 2.5 to 3 hour event. It's all live with me. We repeat it again at 6:30 till 9 p.m. So that's for the Americans. So we do it Europe and America, the same event twice. I basically do it twice live. Saturday is from 8:30 till 4:15, and that's again Pacific time. And Sunday is 8:30 to 3 p.m. So it is a full weekend, but the first day is kind of like a gentle introduction, and then we hit the ground running on day 2 and 3.
Huge opportunity, and it's free. And I know from personal experience, I have benefited enormously from all of this. And yeah, I encourage anybody to check it out, enjoy. It's interactive, which is fun, and you'll meet some new people. And Michael's an amazing interpreter. I'm just so grateful, Michael, because you've been there through the years and pointed me in the right direction so many times. I can't thank you enough.
Thank you, Elizabeth.
Thank you, Michael, for explaining about this, telling everyone, everybody should know about this. Spread the word.